Welcome back. Okay, vocabulary, la política, politics. Are you a politician? ¿Eres político? Are you a politician? I'm not a politician. Why not? Because I'm not interested in politics. I don't want to get involved in politics. I don't want to get involved. No quiero estar involucrado, o involucrarme en este caso. To get involved. To be involved es estar involucrado o implicado. To get involved es involucrarse. To get involved. Fijaos en la pronunciación. Involved. La segunda V se escribe involve, V al principio y al final. Pero la segunda V es como un F. Involved. Involucrado. I don't want to get involved in politics. I'm not interested in politics. I'm a teacher. Politics requires compromise, and I'm not interested in compromise. Compromise, la gente cree que es compromiso, que no lo es, ojo. Compromise is transigiendo. Hay que transigir. If you're a politician, the political activity involves reaching agreements. Alcanzar acuerdos consensuados, que si quiere decir que cada uno cede con el fin de llegar a un acuerdo común. And it's very frustrating. Not for politicians, but from people like me and many other people, I imagine it would be very frustrating to have to consensuate all your decisions and to have to compromise your ideas, to compromise your feelings and your beliefs, okay? All right? Your position. To compromise means tú comprometes tus principios. Esto compromete mi futuro. Esto compromete mi posición. Esto pone en peligro. Okay? So, commitment es un compromiso tipo promesa. He prometido a Juanita ir mañana a conocer a su marido. Vale, de acuerdo. I promised. Es un compromiso. Tengo un compromiso mañana. No puedo ir contigo mañana porque tengo otro compromiso. Es un compromiso. Tengo que hacerlo porque es una promesa que he hecho. It's a promise I made, so it's a commitment. I have a commitment. Los compromisos tipo promesas, commitment. Nunca compromise. A compromise es un acuerdo alcanzado mediante un consenso, donde cada parte en el acuerdo ha transigido en parte, no totalmente, para llegar a un acuerdo común. Okay? So, compromise. That's what happens for politicians. Politicians usually have no problem in saying, okay, I insist this microphone is the most important thing for me, but in order to reach an agreement, if I have to compromise my microphone and not have a microphone on the table, fine, okay. But I keep my magic wand, I keep my water, my pencil, and my books, okay. And you? Okay, and so we reach a compromise agreement, okay? Still, I'm going to keep my microphone. So politics is a type of activity that requires sacrificing or compromising, aquí viene, your principles, or some of your principles, or some of your beliefs, some of the things that are important to you in order to reach a common ground, un terreno común, que es el ejercicio de lo posible. And that's very frustrating for some kinds of people, me included. I'm more of a categorical person. For me, it's black and white. I don't like the gray area. Andar sobre la zona gris no me gusta. I like black and white. Perhaps it's what you call in Spanish una deformación profesional. Perhaps I'm suffering a professional deformation because teaching English for so many years, the conclusion is very clear. The conclusion está clarísima. The conclusion is very, very clear. When you want to learn a second language, it's black or white. Forget about English. Don't worry about it. Y respeto esa postura. Forget English. Don't worry about it. Que aprenden español, all right? That's fine. I agree, and I respect that opinion. Or a por todas, okay? Spend all the time necessary, the money necessary, but resuelve el tema, quita el maldito tema del medio, vence el idioma inglés o el idioma alemán, si es lo que te toca, pero véncelo ya. Spend the money and the time and the sacrifice now, black and white. But most people, 98% of the people, bailan por el gris durante años, haciendo incursiones esporádicas en el inglés, saliendo, entrando, un año sí, otro no, y they never learn the language. Pero al final de 20 años han dejado muchos cuartos ahí, okay? They spend a lot of money in the end, okay? And so, black and white, black and white, black and white. That's my personality, I'm sorry. I can't play around in the gray area. And politicians are forced to spend a lot of time in the gray area. So, la política es politics. Fijaos que es una C más una S. Politics. Es una palabra griega. It's a Greek word. It's a Greek word. Greek words, many Greek words are like this one, politics. Politics is a noble activity. Politics are a noble activity, no se dice. Entonces, una palabra con S al final, pero es singular. La ética es el estudio filosófico del bien y del mal. Ethics is the philosophical debate of right and wrong, good and bad. Okay? Ethics, también una palabra griega. It's a Greek word, ethics. Tiene una C así al final. Y la TH en medio se pronuncia como una Z. Eth, o una C suave. Ethics. Politics. Politics is the activity of reaching consensus, of opposing views, and reaching compromise agreements in order to make public activity, administrative activity, viable. Okay? And ethics, con S al final, CS también, is the study of good and bad, the debate, the ongoing, perpetual, eternal debate on what is good, what is bad, what constitutes a good action, what constitutes a bad action, because there's a lot of debate on this, all right? That's ethics, all right? Ballistics, okay. Ballistics, otra palabra griega con CS al final. Ballistics is, singular, the study of trajectories, la balística, la ética, la política. En castellano las palabras son muy parecidas también. Physics, la física, physics, con PH en inglés. Physics is the study of physical phenomena, los fenómenos físicos de la naturaleza. Atoms, molecules, bueno, molecules is more in chemistry. Atoms, particles, forces, okay, speed, velocity, trajectories, okay, is part of physics. Dynamics, la dinámica de esta clase, the dynamics of this class is, okay, otra vez singular. Muchas palabras así en griego, la balística, termodinámica, okay, so, physics, politics, ethics, ballistics, many more. Physics, gymnastics, all right, athletics, la atlética. Se dice en inglés la atlética, en lo atlético, lo deportivo. Athletics. Okay, so la política is politics. And a person devoted to the activity of politics is called a politician. And problems that involve politics are called political problems. Problemas políticos. Hay problemas políticos en todos los países. There are political, AL al final, political problems in every country. Because politics is a difficult activity that often leads people to becoming frustrated, politicians themselves and observers, okay, and general citizens become frustrated or exasperated with their politicians and with politics because it's a frustrating activity, in my opinion. It's interesting. I have met quite a few politicians. I've met quite a few politicians. Lo voy a repetir 3 veces. I have met quite a few politicians. Quite a few means bastantes. He conocido bastantes políticos en mi vida. Quite a few, some of them important. And I always ask the same question. I always ask them the same question. Do you like politics? Every one of them says yes. Every one of them. and you ask anybody outside of the world of politics, would you like to be a politician? None of them say yes. It's strange. Maybe politics is an interesting profession. I have never been a politician. Se escribe politician, 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 transportation. La pronunciación, el sonido es igual. Se escribe de forma distinta. The politician. I've never been a politician, and truly, probably like you, the last thing in the world I'm interested in is getting into politics. Getting into politics, meterme en política. However, if you talk to a politician, he or she will tell you they love it. All right? So maybe there's something you and I don't know about that profession. Politics is an activity performed by politicians. Okay. También politics se usa en el sentido del politiqueo. Hay mucho politiqueo en esta empresa. There are a lot of politics in this company. All right? Ahora, una política es diferente. It's a policy. La política de esta empresa es no dar clase los sábados. Okay. No classes on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. Why not? It's a policy of the company. O bien, se dice mucho, it's company policy. La política de esta empresa, company policy. Aquí no es politics. Politics es la política con P mayúscula, la política del politiqueo, de los políticos. A policy es una política como norma de actuación, norma de una regla, okay? Una norma es una política. All right, policy. Policy as a word has a second meaning, póliza. Póliza seguro, an insurance policy. All right. Suscribir una póliza de seguros is to take out. Curiosa forma. Take out es como extraer. To take out an insurance policy. An insurance policy. Life insurance, car insurance, fire insurance, health insurance, hospitalization insurance, casualty insurance, property insurance. There are many types of insurance. Los que llamáis aquí ramos del seguro. Different types of insurance. A very important type of insurance, of course, is life insurance. It's on your life. And really, the life insurance policy doesn't take effect until you die. And then your beneficiaries receive the proceeds. The proceeds es la indemnización. Indemnization es algo de daños y perjuicios, pero por la muerte de una persona con una póliza de vida, póliza de seguro de vida, we say the proceeds. Procede lo que procede de la persona que ha fallecido mediante su póliza de seguro. All right, the proceeds go to the beneficiaries. Okay, but that's policy. Here we're talking about politics. Okay, politics. But politicians, todo está unido, Politicians negotiate with other politicians and they reach compromise agreements. También puedo quitar la palabra compromise. They reach agreements. Alcanzan acuerdos. Pero he añadido compromise por un motivo. They reach compromise agreements means llegan a acuerdos comprometiendo sus propios principios, transigiendo de forma frustrada a veces, están frustrados, pero tienen que llegar a un acuerdo, como sea, and they reach a compromise agreement. So an agreement es un acuerdo. A compromise agreement es un acuerdo consensuado donde cada uno ve comprometidos sus propios principios en cierta medida. And it's a compromise agreement. Politicians, y de ahí se emanan políticas de actuación. Y ahí viene la palabra policy otra vez, policy. So everything is connected. Okay? Policies are what the government institutes and puts into effect. Okay? And it's done by politicians. So everything is connected. Ya está bien de política. Enough for, ya está bien de políticas, enough for politics for the moment. Okay. Arcoíris. Oh, qué bonito. That's a good change. Rainbow. Rain is lluvia. Bow is un lazo. Bow. Por ejemplo, una pajarita. Algunas personas, hombres, normalmente llevan not a normal tie. They wear a bow tie. Bow. B-O-W. Bow. Bow. Oh. Como por bow. en Cataluña. Bow, pero escrito con W al final. Bow. A bow tie. A bow also, when you tie your shoes. When you tie your shoes, you tie it into a bow. And it's very easy to untie. To untie. Desatar un zapato. To untie your shoes, you pull on one string of the lace and whoot, it undoes. It unties, it undoes the bow. A bow. Okay. Curioso, bow también es arco, de arco y flecha. A bow, an arrow. Okay. You shoot an arrow into the air, you need a strong bow. Okay. Bow. And it's spelled the same, B-O-W. Now, rainbow, literalmente, lluvia, lazo, okay, rainbow, todo junto, es arco iris. Rainbow. Do you remember the song del Mago de Oz? From the Wizard of Oz. Dorothy sang, somewhere over the rainbow, far away. Somewhere, en algún lugar, al otro lado del arco iris. Somewhere over the rainbow. Okay, rainbow. Rainbows are beautiful. They contain 7 colors. Or 8, I'm not sure. I'm not a physicist. Rainbows. Now, there is a legend, una leyenda, a legend in the English-speaking countries. In Spain, I don't know, that at the end of a rainbow is a pot of gold. A pot. Pot es como un cacharro de cocina, una olla is a pot. All right? A pot of gold, lleno de monedas de oro, a pot of gold. And if you can find where the rainbow touches the ground, and there is a pot of gold. All right? Now, I remember many years ago when my children were little, cuando eran pequeños mis hijos, I think my daughter was 7 perhaps, and my son was 3, no, un poco más. My daughter was 8 or 9, and my son was 4 or 5 years old. And we were visiting my parents in the United States in a nice subdivision, an urbanization, a residential area south, just to the south of Austin, Texas. Basically in the country. It's a very nice area. And there was a storm, una tormenta. There was a storm, and after the storm, it was a summer storm, the typical thunderstorm. Es una tormenta con aparato eléctrico. We say tormenta de trueno. Okay. Rayos y centellas. Okay. There was a thunderstorm, a strong thunderstorm, very typical of Texas in the summer. And afterwards, suddenly, boom, glorious sunlight. And at one area, there was a beautiful rainbow. Beautiful, from horizon to horizon. Bam, bam. Full. You could see the full arc of the rainbow. And one end of the rainbow looked only about 300 or 400 meters away. And I said to my children, I said, hey, look, at the end of the rainbow is a pot of gold. And my son said, wow, let's get it. And I didn't tell my children that it was only a legend, that it wasn't true. So we got into my car. I said, okay, get into the car. And we started driving on the streets of the residential area, trying to locate the exact place where the rainbow. And of course, it was farther than it looked. Las apariencias engañan, okay, and it's true. And we drove, and we reached the end, the last street of the residential area, and out in the country, we could see the rainbow come down. And my daughter said, well, let's stop the car and walk. Okay, so we stopped. We got out, and we continued walking. And as we approached closer and closer, of course, the rainbow disappeared. It was there, but as you got close, you couldn't see it. And I said, well, I think this time we won't find the gold. And my son said, and the other end? It's too far away. And I said, but don't worry. Someday we will find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, because it exists. And with your English, there's a light at the end of the tunnel and a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. En el caso de vuestro inglés, sí existe el final del arco iris. Está ahí. Learning English will put Learning English well, hay que aprenderlo bien. A medias tintas no me vale. And you will find the gold at the end of the rainbow. Sometimes the gold is real money, that you earn better salaries. Sometimes the gold is personal satisfaction, okay? Yeah. But nevertheless, in any case, there's gold at the end of the rainbow. Rainbow, arcoiris. The next word, parientes, mis familiares. Relatives. Los españoles os reís cuando oís esa palabra. Relatives, porque los parientes son personas, son relativos. Okay? Well, yes and no. Relatives. La palabra familiares, family in English. Normally, when you say family, family members, miembros de la familia, you're speaking of your nuclear family. Se dice familia nuclear in inglés, which means your mother, your father, your sisters and brothers, yourself, or your children. Okay? These are direct. Okay? That's the family. People outside of that are not called family or familiares. They're called relatives. Aunts, uncles, nephews, nieces, cousins. These are called relatives. Okay? And you can have blood relatives, and you can have in-laws. Okay? Blood relatives, parientes sanguíneos, con lazos de sangre. In-laws son parientes políticos a través de casamiento, matrimonio. In-law, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, my uncle-in-law. No sé si, bueno, se puede decir en castellano, creo, tío político, tía política, etc. Abuelo político. But estos son los políticos, literalmente. My in-laws son parientes políticos. Pero aquí estoy hablando de relatives, que son mis parientes en general, relatives, which can include the in-laws. Relatives engloba todo. Relatives, my relatives. Y no es que sean personas relativas, que no son de importancia absoluta, sino importancia relativa. ¿Qué va? Viene la palabra relacionar. They are related. Related by blood or by marriage. These people are related to you by blood or by marriage, which means there's a family relationship. Okay? Now, remember, mi familia, my family, is only you, your sisters, your brothers, your parents, or your children. Direct. Outside are relatives. Okay? And one last thing about concerning relatives or family. Here, it's common in Spanish to say, estoy teniendo problemas familiares. Okay? Now, please remember this. Remember, si estás teniendo problemas familiares y lo quieres expresar en inglés, dices, I'm having family problems. Usando la palabra familia, el sustantivo como adjetivo. Es un asunto familiar. It's a family affair. Problemas familiares. Family problems. Una cuestión familiar. A family question. A family matter. All right? So, don't say familiar. Okay? Si dices estoy teniendo problemas familiares o es un asunto familiar y dices it's a familiar matter, el interlocutor no te va a entender en absoluto. Si dices, no, excuse me, George, this is a familiar matter, ya va a haber un malentendido. Pues a familiar matter no tiene sentido en inglés. Significa un asunto familiarizado. Familiar. Familiar en inglés significa familiarizado. I am familiar with your problems. Estoy familiarizado con tus problemas. Estoy al corriente de ellos. I'm familiar with your problems. Sé que tienes problemas familiares. I know you are having. Solemos usar el presente continuo con have aquí. I know you are having family problems. I know that there are some family matters that are worrying you. Okay, family. All right, relatives. Today, in the last 25 minutes, 3 words. Los políticos, los politicians. La política, politics. Una política de empresa is a policy. All right, un arcoíris is a rainbow. At the end of the rainbow is a pot, P-O-T. Pot es una olla, un gran cazo, cacharro. A pot of gold. And relatives. Mis parientes son políticos. My relatives are politicians, for example. Okay, I'm tired. I think it's time for me to say goodbye. But before I do it, or before doing so, I want to remind you that your rainbow has a pot of gold at the end, and that rainbow is learning English well. Look for the gold, please, okay? Thank you very, very much. See you very soon. Bye-bye.